Long time no see, everybody. Hope everyone had a very good Christmas and very happy New Year. Sorry I haven't done many videos, just been manic to say the least. But we're up on the downs anyway today, just pulling in some SD cards from some trail cams. Going to do an overnighter tonight. Most of it's going to be revolved around, well, majority of it's going to be evolved around the big cat topic that we've been trying to cover. We're going to be staying in a portion of forested area just on the edge of the downs where a farmer had reported over the course of 6 months 12 sheep going missing. Well, not all going missing, 4 were found dead in various areas of this large field that borders the wood, and the others just went completely missing. In his words, the farmer's words, not mine, it looked like a large cat had done it, and the man is getting well onto his 60s now. He's seen dog attacks on his sheep and whatnot, so that's enough for me to go off, and I have got permission for that part of the forest to stay in. As I say, it's part of the waterboard at the bottom end, so we're going to stay there. We're going to wrap a bit of bushcraft into it, obviously, because we're going to camp out and cook some food and whatnot. I haven't got any firearms or quad bike with me today, just purely because it's for the big cat topic. Can't go shooting guns and riding 4x4s around when we're trying to look for an animal that can't frankly find, even when we're out walking quietly. So hope everyone did have a good holiday though. Like I said, this year we're going to be touching on a lot of about mental health and well-being. For being outside, I think it goes hand in hand. It's a definite cure for a lot of people to be outside, enjoying the nature and getting in touch with what's going on up here, rather than being stuck in front of like a TV or a laptop or the phone the whole time. I know it's part of daily life for most people now, being stuck in front of that sort of stuff, but once we have got the choice to come away from it for the weekend and we can get out in the woods, then I think we should make that decision. Going to be doing a lot on the channel this year. Going to be, obviously it's a bit of a mixed bag, my channel. It is all based on the outdoors, but I've got a touring kayak. We're going to take up a few rivers and do some overnight camps or some 48-hour camps. Also going to do some island camping, so basically finding some islands that are local in England and just basically camping out on the islands and having fun that way. We're also going to do some travelling about, so I'm going to be going to Wales and I'm going to be going over to North Yorkshire, so hopefully everyone is going to enjoy this one. Hopefully I do, and I'll bring you back in a minute.
So the more I look into the topic of the big cat being in Britain, the less silly it seems. I think that there is enough space here for them to live, and without being seen every day. We've got all the correct terrain. We've got slopes, we've got fields, we've got forests, we've got mountains. And if you remember, we don't go into them spaces every single day. The average hiker and walker will not go off the beaten path. We're programmed to stay on tracks and pathways. The odd time that they are seen, I think, is a mistake. Only 10.5% of the UK is classified as being built on. Now that leaves a whopping amount to be left as open green space, corridors for it to travel, and also, without saying, with the large population of game we have here in the UK.
Finally arrived, a little bit later than I thought. We're losing light quite rapidly now. I have packed up on me, I've got me old body warmer on and a couple of layers of my thermals. I'm using the Highlander Blackthorn one-man tent tonight. It's the first time I set it up, so it was a little bit of like faffing around getting the door where I wanted it. But we are right in there now. We're right up into the forest area. The other side of this forest, probably 100 metres, is just more rolling countryside and hills, and that is the farm where the sheep was killed and went missing. So we're in the right spot for it anyway, so we're lucky to be here. I think it's going to be a chilly one tonight. It's already sort of really cold, although we've got the sun. There's no cloud cover, so it's going to be a really cold one, I think. So I'm going to chuck some food on before it gets dark, because I don't want to be having a fire. I'm going to use a gas stove. I'm going to avoid having a fire because of obviously we're here looking for an animal, and animals are frightened of fire and the smell of fire, so we'll keep that to a minimum. Just going to use the gas burner for boiling up water, doing a bit of dinner. Got a bit of an oddball dinner, but it should be nice. 2 really good things. So yeah, although it's very lonely, I'm very excited for it. Stay with me. So yeah, not a bad looking little tent. Obviously if you were 6'4", it wouldn't be great, but very compact. Obviously it's got an inner setup, so it wouldn't be brilliant if you was trying to set it up in a rush in the rain, because obviously the inside sets up before the outside, whereas some tents you set the outer shell up first, then this hooks in afterwards, which this case you can't because the poles are attached to that. But I'm using the military Arctic sleeping bag, North Face, and a little sleeping mat. Just a little basic one tonight, but it should be fun and it should be comfortable. I should be warm enough. I'm going to bust out the stove and start my dinner. So whilst we're waiting for the rice to get nice and heated up before I chuck the meat on, why am I spending so much time and effort of doing this big cat research, or not so much research, but why am I looking into it to try and find the answers? Obviously hundreds and hundreds of people have been in my shoes of trying to prove it's there or trying to poo-poo it, say it's not there. The reason why I'm spending a lot more time on it is because here in the southeast we are littered with hundreds and hundreds of sightings. I think the West Country as well, and up north, it's nationwide. I do believe even the West Country have actually got a police department that don't solely deal with the big cat reports, but they're the ones that get the big cat reports, so they've got a certain section of the police force down there that actually deal with it. And also misidentification. How can something be misidentified so many times? I mean, if someone's not clued up with the country and they do see a black fox pass the car very quickly on a country lane, if it's a glimpse, yeah, I can understand that being a misidentification once or twice, but there's country people that are used to the outdoors, like myself, that are seeing it. And like I say, you can't disregard that. I mean, I think there was a very big misidentification down in Essex, a place, St Osyth. There was a Maine Coon cat, which is a large cat breed. People have got them in the UK. The cat was laying out. I mean, these cats get huge. I'll put some pictures up on this video in a minute, and that was misidentified. That I can understand. I can swallow that. But some of the police officers and some of the postmen, and just generally across the board, lots of different variety of different people are seeing it. I did take a trip to Scotland on my 30th, so it was a few years ago, and I did when I was driving through the mountains, there was a large dead cat on the road. Wasn't the Scottish wild cat. I did want to stop and take some photos, but it was 4 o'clock in the morning. The missus was dead against me getting out of the car, but that again was a glimpse. I didn't get out and poke and prod and measure it, and so I don't 100% know whether that was a species of cat that shouldn't have been here. I mean, it was so quick that it was over. Drove past it, boom, it was gone. Speaking to a man also in Higham, which is in the Gravesend area, Medway sort of way. His friend was a gamekeeper back in the 90s. He was setting some snares out for foxes. He's got a picture at home. He's going to dig it out for me now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that does all go ahead. If it does come up, it'll be straight on the channel. His friend back in the 90s was setting snares for foxes and come upon his snares one day on his line, found that there was a dead puma in it, a mountain lion. It strangled itself to death. He's got a picture of him holding it up. The gentleman's 6 foot something, and the cat is as long as him. That's the sort of evidence we need. But is it enough to make people think, oh yeah, they're still, patrolling the countryside? I don't know. That's the question. So I'm going to do my utmost, and I think, really and truthfully, my money, as I keep banging on about it, is on the trail cams, because they're out here 24/7. I will relay the footage that we have got. It is very interesting, because there's some pros and some cons about what we've caught already, and we're not personally going to be here looking for it 24/7, because we've got to go to work, and obviously we've got families and kids. But when we can get out like this, put boots on the ground, it's just more opportunities to find more evidential things. Plus we're staying right on a hotspot of a place where sheep have gone missing, and sheep have been found suspectedly killed by well, a dog, the police put it down to, but the farmer, as I said, he is an old boy, he knows a dog kill, and he also knows, he's looked online for cat kills. So it'll be interesting to spend the night here. I am looking forward to it. I'm getting very hungry now, so I'm going to check on that rice, and I'll bring you back in a second. Yeah, so all you other bushcrafters or outdoorsmen, look at this little tea bag strainer. Works lovely for flipping your bacon and your burgers. Takes up hardly any space. Goes straight into your grub bag. Good idea. So I've had to chuck my hat on now. It's got very chilly. I've had me a bit of dinner, so I'm having a little bit of a scoot round just to see if there's anything about. It's dusk now, so this would be the sort of time that would probably big cats would be about. Just having a quick look around. Thought I heard a bit. There's a noise behind me. There's like a banging in front. Hang on one sec. Just going to give it 2 more minutes. That's really close. Right, hang on. Don't sound normal. One sec, let me just pan you round. Bring you back in a second. Really sorry everyone. It's so dark. It's like a smashing noise coming from over here. Really close. Birds are going crackers now. How strange. Almost sounded like deliberate. Oh, here we go, look. There's a den here. Badger or fox or something there. Crunching noise. Don't know if you picked that up on here. Right, hang on one second, let me just tell you. Don't know if you can hear that. I can hear twigs breaking and whatnot. One second, let me turn you around. Don't normally get like that. Feel a bit jittery. Someone's fucking about. It's over there now. It was coming from this area. Then I heard crunching. Don't know if the camera's picked it up. I'll have to Someone's having a fucking about here. 2 minutes. I'm going to turn the camera off because I've got to find out what that is. It's not normal. Well, I'm going to be truthfully honest. I've just basically come back after having probably a 15 or 20 minute walk. I don't know what it looks like on film at the minute because, to be honest with you, I got out of there quite quickly. Just some ridiculous. I think that might have been an owl. I'm getting myself a bit spooked now. Definitely an owl. So I've come back to my tent only because obviously I've been out traipsing about, shining my torch about, looking for evidence in the dusk sort of to dark transition for big cat sort of. There's lots of mud, so prints and kills, any sort of bones from animal kills, and just heard like an array of eruption of deliberate whacks or breaking branches. and there shouldn't be anyone else in here, only me. And every time I went to the area it was coming from, you'd be able to see it on the footage. There's just nothing there. There's definitely an owl. Birds were going berserk, and then as soon as I turned the camera off, it all sort of stopped. I heard the odd crunch and crack. Turned it back on again, and it all just sort of started happening again. That's an owl. No, I'll be honest with you, I don't often get freaked out about it, and we're meant to be looking for a big cat. I mean, whether there's a homeless bloke in here or a rough sleeper or something and he's trying to frighten me out of here, but there was no one where the noise was. It's never happened to me before. I just can't get my head around it. I'll be honest with you, there was 10 minutes there I thought to myself, I'm going to pack up and go, but I'm going to stand my ground. Obviously I want to make a video and try and get some of this big cat stuff nailed down like I've promised. And obviously it was pretty scarce over Christmas with no videos, so I'm going to hold it out, but time will tell. We shall see. It's getting cold now. I'm going to have to sort my lighting out for me GoPro and see what the rest of the night brings, but whew, did not expect any of that. It really did freak me out. So as on cue, I turned the camera off and I did hear some breaking noises up that way. Now remember, I've been out in woods. My dad used to take me out in woods all since I was a kid. I know all the normal noises. And it's not deer, it's not that. I just feel like someone's messing about at me. Sorry for swearing earlier, but it's almost like something or someone is deliberately messing about. It's gone now. If I find the courage, I will have another walk about in a bit, but I'll bring you back. Good morning, everybody. Thank God it's daylight. It's been daylight now for about half an hour, and I didn't have a very comfortable night. Not for sleep anyway. I mean, it was comfortable enough. I mean, comfy, but I just catnapped. About 1:40 this morning, I could just hear like a really loud crunching noise coming from over there in the undergrowth, like a really heavy crunching noise. I didn't pop my head out or anything. I just stayed there still listening. I needed to change the battery on the DJI Action 3, and the batteries were in my bag out here against the tree, but that noise was like crunch, fud, and then a couple of seconds just like almost sounded like a drain. It was like someone's stomach turning, like really odd noise. Never happened to me before, anything like this, but it's certainly a strange one. It's turned up for the books, that's for sure. Come out looking for a big cat and then it's just so random. Very, very random. I'm going to get out of here anyway. Right, just put it into perspective for you. I'm camped over there. Show you. Turn you round. It's like a fallen tree in there. Sounded like something sort of jumped over it. Boom, boom. Crunched everything. Unmistakable crunch. Crunching noise. And then a really loud pause, like a really long pause, and then a really loud gurgling noise. Almost like a drain. Now I am going to have a look around for obvious signs and causes of that, but didn't get a lot of big cat surveying done, did we, last night? But I can honestly say I've never had anything like this happen to me before. I'm just so glad I did bring a camera on this trip, because over Christmas I did go out in the camper van and I did do the odd little overnight. I took my hammock out one night, but I didn't take the camera with me. I just stayed out, but it was a different location altogether. I think when I come back here, I think I might come back here when it warms up a little bit. I might have a fire, so I'll stay in the same place. I'll have a nice fire. I'll build a lean-to with a tarp. I'll probably bring someone with me as well next time. Just goes to show you though how alert your senses become. They get amplified. I mean, I can definitely say that for sure. My senses were just completely amplified. But there was definitely something messing about. What would give me the worst feeling about it is I can understand if it was daylight, but from what was happening, I don't know how the noise has been picked up on here, but it's like it was deliberate and it was all round me. Not all at once, it was boom boom there, and then a couple of seconds to a minute later it was over there, and then it was behind me. I don't know if I was just getting myself freaked out, and I'll have to obviously put this all together on the laptop and see if I was just being spooked. But Jesus, what an experience. First time this has ever happened to me anyway. I've had funny things happen to me fishing and that, like, but stuff that you can normally put down to a reasonable logical explanation. But the sleeping bag kept me warm. I did keep this on. It was a bit of a bugger to zip up, but it was very cold, so I just kept all my layers on. Once you're zipped in them Arctic sleeping bags though, the zip comes up the middle and the zip's inside. You can't really do a lot of your arms then. It's definitely a mummy bag. Like, it keeps you nice and snug, but I've had to wait. It sounds really stupid, but wait till it got daylight to change the battery on my DJI action camera. Yeah, I don't know. What do you make of it all? What happened last night? It has put the brakes on the big cat thing for sure for today. But I'm gonna get packed up and have a little look around now. I was just having a little look around, see if I could find like an underground spring or something that's popped up and made a gurgling noise, because that can happen as well. But the wood banging together, like the knocking noises that I heard, you can get it in like a chestnut wood, where the breeze can slightly take the trees and they can knock together. That can freak you out sometimes. Even down to the smallest birds landing in the leaf litter. They sound bigger than what they are, but this was huge. I mean, this was like, no, it was a real prominent, it was louder than that, but it was a real prominent crunching noise. And because everything's cold, it's like hearing a pin drop. Like, it was really amplified, like this. Going on about it a little bit, but it did just put the woolies up me for sure. But well, time will tell. I'm going to definitely come back when it warms up a bit. I'm going to have a fire. I'm going to make a lean-to open-fronted tarp configuration, and I'll probably end up staying with someone else. Probably bring someone else up here with me. But it just goes to show you the lesson learned here is I didn't expect what happened, but I wasn't prepared either for it. I mean, although my senses, everyone's senses when you're in the outdoors, they're a bit more susceptible. So obviously it's where your brain starts to work overtime. You can think the smallest of noises is nothing, but it plays on your mind. But last night was just out of the ordinary. I've never had it happen before. Keep saying it. I just can't believe it. It might not come across a lot on the camera, I'm not sure. But if you was here, everything just seemed so intense. It was unbelievable. But there's just no evidence of anything, really. So I'm going to get wrapped up. I'm going to bypass the breakfast today. I'm just going to get going, get out of here. But I'll put the trail cam footage up that I have got from a few of the cameras. I've condensed it down because you don't want to sit through hours and hours of birds landing, squirrels going up trees, you know, foxes wandering by. I'm just going to put the good bits up of what we have found and basically let you just roll through them. We haven't got no big cat this time. That's not to say that we can't take something from the footage to say, one, we've got the game there for it to eat, so that shows on footage, and also the predator that we are meant to have in this country is Mr. Fox. He seems to know, he looks at the camera, he knows it's there, he knows it's ticking over. And that is something that we've got to take away from it. It's a lesson learnt with the trail cams, is if there is a large cat prowling around, he's going to be wise to the trail cam. Not to say that he's not going to get caught out by it one day, but just goes to show if the fox can suss out that there's something alien there, then I'm sure the cat will as well. So that's something we can take away from it. But there's been a lesson learnt here for me as well, camping out. A bit hit and miss really, just grabbed a few bits of light gear, come down here. I wished I'd have been a bit more prepared. The tent didn't give me much reassurance of what was going on. It was giving me the creeps. Having that, I'm glad I did have some sort of cover, but being in that sort of little coffin-sized tent, it sort of made it worse for me really, because I'd much rather have had a shelter that I'd made up, put a tarp up, had a fire. I'd felt a bit more sort of protected, a bit more caveman. That's the caveman in us, that is. But tests our mental abilities anyway. I stayed the night, so I shall see what this sort of video turns out like. Bit random really, did not expect it in one bit, and I'm laughing now because it's daylight, but last night I can assure you I weren't laughing. It was really creepy. I'd like to know if any other viewers have had something similar like this happen. I mean, I'm not a massive believer in paranormal. Then what's a ghost doing out in the middle of the woods if it is anything paranormal? I mean, you should just start asking yourself hundreds of questions. Was it someone just messing about? But we're so far from a road and so randomly placed in the woods that no one comes in here. There's no trails, there's no nothing. I'm the only one that's in here. So I'm out of there now, a bit relieved to be honest. I've got a bit of a walk back to the van, but I'm back on actual hardened pathway. Thanks for joining me on another one. Sorry if it wasn't what people expected. It certainly wasn't what I expected, but I'm going to put it on the channel nonetheless. First time anything like that's happened, as I keep saying, so it does warrant going on there. No big cats this time. I'm hoping we can bring a lot more evidential stuff to the channel for the big cat scenario next time. There is a lot more that I've got to go through with you, and a lot more places I've got to stay that have been witnesses have spotted it, so we're going to stay in a different area next time. But next video, I'm going to try and get out on the water and do some camping that way. Take the kayak out. I'll probably do a little preview video before that, because I've still got to give that catapult away. I was planning on doing that on this video, but not everyone's going to watch big cats. Big cat topic on here. They're more after the bushcraft stuff, so I'll be giving that catapult away on a preview of the next video. Going to be going up to the beacons next week, the Brecon beacons. So we'll see what sort of a video that brings.